Now, tonight, our Bill Barajas is live in Lake Charles with what he's seeing. Bill?
Well, this is literally the calm before the storm. Things very quiet right now here in Lake Charles. We are on the lake right now, and you wouldn't believe that a hurricane was coming, but we know that is not the case. Things will change here dramatically in just the next few hours. Now, there hasn't been much to report as in weather-wise. Rain has tapered off. There was rain earlier today, and the wind has sort of picked up in the last 5 or 10 minutes, but again, not much to report. Now, we spoke to some people here at the lake who were enjoying the lake, saying they needed to come out to see just how dramatically different things were going to be in just a few hours. Some of those people riding out the storm. Others were here storm chasing. Now, we spoke to some of those storm chasers. One, a college student, said there's no other place he'd rather be. The other, a man telling us he is actually having second thoughts about being here in Lake Charles because of the fact that Laura is now a Cat 4.
Yeah, doing a storm chasing trip. Came down with a friend from Huntsville, Alabama. He's a big storm chaser, but he's going to spend the night in his truck in a parking garage in Beaumont. And I decided, no, this being a Cat 4, I wasn't really down with that. So I'm going to spend the night in the hotel about 2 hours north of here.
I've been obsessed with weather since I was a little kid. I'm a meteorology student at OU, and every storm season, chase tornadoes and stuff like that. So it's just something I grew up, something I enjoy doing.
And again, very few people here right now. Most people adhering to the mandatory evacuation orders put out by city and county leaders. And just moments ago, I got a tweet from the sheriff's office saying that there will be a curfew tonight from 7 p.m. until 6 a.m. for those who are staying here and planning to ride out Hurricane Laura, rather. Live in Lake Charles, Bill Barajas, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Bill, thank you. Now back to our Texas coastline in Galveston,
Beaumont area and Port Arthur areas. Hundreds of thousands of families across southeast Texas were ordered to evacuate there.
Brandon Walker, we understand you're at a civic center tonight where the last buses to evacuate families have actually just left.
Yeah, Chris, they've just left or they are about to leave, maybe keeping a few behind for stragglers. There was one that pulled off maybe about 10 minutes ago. It was empty, and before that, we were told that the last bus left for Huntsville. But they're keeping a couple buses behind because there are a few families who are still coming, looking to get out of here before Laura makes landfall somewhere along the coast tonight.
Getting away from here.
Samika Babineau felt she had no other choice, so here she is, this mother of two, rolling what she could pack as buses get set to roll away to higher ground.
And we experienced like the same incident back in 2017 with Harvey. And I'm just trying to get away.
Port Arthur Civic Center turned evacuation hub for residents who know Hurricane Laura can't be good.
I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I was called to part of a 200 bus move.
Bus drivers like Liddell Woods, ready to help, has helped from behind the wheel.
Because I covered Katrina out of New Orleans, I tell you, my heart goes out to the people who want to make them safe. Katrina was one of the worst storms that I ever had to work in.
The streets of Port Arthur tonight, empty. A mandatory call to get out seems well received for this 20th century boom town, now ghost town. Area refineries have shut too. They dot Port Arthur's landscape, help drive the economy with jobs.
Prayed up.
Logan Odebert checked his van to make sure it was good for the drive to Houston. He stayed for Harvey, says he'll never do that again.
I got on the helicopter with the last one from this house right here. I was up on the roof with the kids.
But Angie White says she is staying, filling sandbags today. She says leaving this time just doesn't feel right.
With the coronavirus, it's not too cool to do at this time. I got my patients. I'm a nurse, so my patients are already gone. So we got them safe, so I'm just staying back.
Speaking to Ms. Woods a little earlier this afternoon, you could hear the wind. She's staying home, but after 8 o'clock tonight, she cannot come outside. That's because there is a mandatory curfew here in the city of Port Arthur. Starts at 8 o'clock tonight, runs through 6 a.m. tomorrow. In Port Arthur, I'm Brandon Walker, KPRC Channel 2 News.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very heavy news night. We begin tonight with that Category 4 hurricane now bearing down on the U.S., expected to make landfall within hours. Hurricane Laura speeding toward the Gulf Coast, Texas and Louisiana. Emergency evacuations, authorities warning time is running out. We've been watching here as this hurricane grows in strength, now upgraded to a Cat 4, winds 145 miles per hour. And one of the real concerns here, it is going to hit right in the middle of the night. And just look at the size and scope of this hurricane. These images from the International Space Station. It is 400 miles across. The center of the storm still over the warm waters of the Gulf, which, as you know, fuel this. The effects already being felt tonight. More than 500,000 people under mandatory evacuations, some in shelters in Lake Charles, Louisiana there. Military aircraft being flown to safer ground out of Barksdale Air Force Base. The outer bands of the storm making their mark already. This is from Lake Charles tonight. And of course, all of this hitting in the middle of a pandemic as well. Thousands of coronavirus cases just in the region expected to get slammed by this storm. So we'll carefully guide you through it all tonight. Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z is live in Port Arthur, Texas tonight with the latest track and guidance for us. Ginger, what do you expect?
David, the words unsurvivable storm surge were used by the National Hurricane Center from my point here in Port Arthur east through southwestern Louisiana. This all comes just a couple of days before the 15th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, which obviously hit farther east from here and into Mississippi, but that was a Cat 3. This is going to be a Cat 4, the only Cat 4 potentially in history to hit this part of southwestern Louisiana. Now, I want to take you into what we are looking at, right? So this is Sabine Lake behind me. The hurricane's about 120 miles to the southeast. This is such susceptible land, a very shallow deck that leads up to all of these homes right here along the Gulf. 10 to 20 feet, that's going to overtake these homes. And that's why a satellite image like the one you see here is really frightening. We are just hours from the winds starting to pick up in intensity. And after midnight, we should see landfall. Now, when we talk about wind gusts, 50, you say, okay, then you go to 105 here in Port Arthur. Look at Lake Charles at 4 a.m., 127 miles per hour, even through 7 a.m. You have 3 hours of 120 to 130 mile per hour gusts. You are going to have ridiculous damage. That 10 to 20 foot surge could go 30 miles inland. So Lake Charles, Cameron, Louisiana, we anticipate significant problems here. And this is going to all be wrapping up and moving, and not going to move that. It's going to move quick enough, but gosh, it's going to do a lot of damage all the way up through Shreveport. Even Little Rock will feel these winds. I anticipate, David, power outages obviously here, but all the way up into Arkansas.
All right, well, we're thinking of everyone in the storm zone there. And Ginger, you and the team, please be safe into the evening hours. And we took note of what Ginger just said there. This is now a Category 4 hurricane. Hurricane Katrina was a Cat 3. We all remember the devastation. I remember reporting right in the middle of it as it was hitting. And so tonight across Louisiana, New Orleans, points west of there, they're all taking this very seriously. Meteorologist Rob Marciano on that part of the story tonight.
Tonight, the time to evacuate is over. Laura's coming ashore, packing 145 mile-per-hour winds and what the National Hurricane Center is calling unsurvivable storm surge.
Here comes the first bands of Hurricane Laura. It's only going to get worse.
Hurricane hunters flying into Laura's eye today. The storm now more than 400 miles across.
The surge from this storm is going to push water for miles inland at a height of 10 to 15 feet. That's water easily up and over my head. That's up and over this roof line.
The surge will be even higher than that near the coast, and it's coming in the middle of the night. We met Freddie Rosti, who has to ride out the storm at this Lake Charles blood bank.
We're hoping that this wall does what it was made for,
so that he can supply hospitals with needed blood.
I've been doing it for 30 years, and that's what I'm here for.
Louisiana's governor activating the entire National Guard. Trucks that can be used for high water rescues staging north of New Orleans.
And if you think you're safe because you made it through Rita in southwest Louisiana, understand this storm is going to be more powerful.
The military evacuating B-52 Stratofortresses from Barksdale Air Force Base. Our Matt Gutman in Beaumont, Texas.
And officials are especially concerned about Beaumont here and Port Arthur, home to 55% of the nation's strategic oil reserves, most of its jet fuel, and also some of the biggest refineries in the country.
Back in Lake Charles, the mayor tells me he's worried too many have decided to ride it out.
I'm going to be honest, I am concerned that we didn't have the evacuation numbers that we probably should have.
So let's get right to Rob Marciano live from Lake Charles tonight. And Rob, I know it's the surge and the winds. What are you expecting where you are?
We could see winds over 100 miles an hour, David, and we don't usually say that with any sort of confidence, but this storm is an absolute beast, extremely dangerous. It's going to cut across Louisiana like a giant tornado, not to mention the storm surge that could be catastrophic. It's just going to be devastating here across southwest Louisiana and Lake Charles, and life will be flat out different here after tomorrow. David?
All right, Rob. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.